in different directions. And then there was a complaint from the people that during the rainy season, even earth or planet prefer to stay at a certain place. But now, let's look at disciples of God, and they still travel. And this also proves that they still come. Even without killing, I think there's something wrong with the audio system. Fix that.
Ajahn, maybe
the sound little bit.
Yes, your sound is very soft.
I don't know what's happened.
Oh yes, better if you do that.
Better.
It's getting better now?
Yes, maybe I'm a little bit closer. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want me to repeat what I have just said?
Yes, please go on. Yeah, please.
Yeah, all right. Well, again, and to talk about Vasa, we need to go back to the history of early Buddhism. That actually is enlightenment. I thought for the first period of time, and he did actually make known the rules that monks were required to stay at a certain place during the 3-month retreat. When the villagers complained that monks caused damage to their crops, even without killing all small bugs, small insects, and then this led the Buddha to make known the rules that monks are required to stay at a certain place. The word Vasa is Pali language. In fact, it simply means the year, or even the period of year, Vasa. And Vasa is a Pali language, and sometimes it's used to refer to the period of monkshood. And for example, when the monks visit order, we normally ask, how many Vasa do you have? And that Vasosi. And which means that the word Vasa is often used to refer to the period of monkhood. And when we talk about Vasa during the 3-month retreat, that is another thing. So Vasa or Phansa in Thai language. Well, to make a determination to stay at a certain place was the tradition in Theravada Buddhism for a long, long time. It is still preserved even today, especially in Thailand. I'm not sure about the country yet, because although we have Vasa, we have to observe Vasa, but it's not necessary that all the monks have to observe Vasa, unless your local tradition is very, very strict. Or in Thailand, senior monks are very strict on this. They're very strict on this. During Vasa, you have to choose a certain monastery to spend the whole three months. You can't simply travel all over the place. You can't do that, because if you do that, your teacher or your preceptor will blame you, admonish you, because it's like you don't have learned the good etiquette, you don't know the culture. So during the Vasa, monks are restricted to stay at a certain place. So this practice has been observed by Thai monks for many years.
Ajahn, this year is a little bit different from like in Burma and Thailand. In Sri Lanka as well, I've just checked with Venerable Dhammananda from Bristol, my Sri Lankan Dhamma friends. He's a monk. And he just confirmed with me now here is that in Sri Lanka, it will be also next month for the starting of the Vasa, which is very similar, which is same thing as in Burma. So I don't know why. Some years we have same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this year, actually, Thai also should have we call เดือน8 2 หน mean we have the double
double months in
actually
July.
I've heard that in Thailand also we have double lunar month this year, but it's a little bit complicated or maybe misunderstood or just mixed at the beginning. Then yes, it's the Vasa or Phansa, called Phansa is starting from tomorrow on, which is different from from Sri Lanka in Burma. So what to talk about that in Thailand? Before a few weeks ago, I've heard about that. It is a bit confused among the people on the temple. Some they are a little bit of like saying about this Vasa. Do you have heard about that?
But this year is quite confused among the Thai monastics, because as you know that this year we have double 8 lunar month. Well, normally in the year that we have double 8 lunar month, the first day of the rainy season we start a bit late. I'm not quite sure why this year we have the first day of rainy retreat quite early, and because we just follow the royal standard. In Thailand we have the royal standard, which means that when we check the calendar, like the full moon day, the waning moon, or the maximum moon, we just follow the royal standard. So when there is the announcement from the Royal Institute, and then we just follow. Like last, I think about 2 weeks ago, and there was some conflict on the Buddhist holiday or on the Piyobhaso day. Some said that the Piyobhaso day choose to be on the 14th day of Panny moon rather than the 15th day of
15th day, yes. Last week, yes.
So this kind of conflict happened. I never had this experience before. Well, it is quite confusing this year. As you have confirmed from the Sri Lankan side that the Vasa will start next month, not tomorrow.
Yes.
But I thought all the monks in Thailand know that tomorrow will be the first day of the Vasa. So we will end the Vasa tomorrow because we follow the royal standard. There is the announcement from the Royal Institute, then we just follow their guidance.
Yeah. Then Venerable Dr. Pannyabhoga, what about in Burma, in Shan State? What do people do? So it will be next month. So to be confirmed, and it will be next month, isn't it? Sure.
Yes, as you already informed that the lunar calendar this year, as every 4 years or every 3 years, I'm not sure, probably 4 years or 3 years. So we will have double month according to the lunar calendar. So it's for this year that we having the double month lunar of calendar. Say we are in the 8th lunar month of a calendar. So I think let's the Venerable Piyobhaso just mentioned about it. Some monks are still, because we just came to know a few weeks that the Thailand this year will be starting or observe rainy retreat from tomorrow or one day after the full moon day of July.
Okay.
But in Myanmar and Sri Lanka, that will be on the 3rd of August. And another thing is, we even in Shan State, I just like to little bit talk about the Shan State from the eastern part of Shan State. For example, in Chiang Tung, they also follow the traditional, or I would say that the royal calendar. They will be observing the rain retreat the same with Thailand.
How about this year?
It's part of Shan State.
I think it depends on what lineage you follow.
Yes.
Traditionally, the lineage is from the
Chiang Mai,
Lanna, from the
Lanna.
Lanna Kingdom period.
Lanna.
Yeah, Lanna.
Yes. Yeah.
The calendar is very similar to Thai.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I
What about this year?
Lanna,
What part or which one they follow this year? Do you have confirmation about this?
Oh yes, I just today I talked to the devotee from Tachilek and Chengtung, but the same the month is the same, but today is the full moon day of July in Eastern. Even the same month, but one day is still different because what's it Uposatha day from the last time fall on the 19th. But in Thailand, it's not. So one day different from
sometimes
the
it's
wedding holiday.
New one day. Like today, actually, I was a bit confused this morning. I thought it was like today is one pla or the full moon day, but actually it will be tomorrow according to the Thai calendar.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this today is a Burmese calendar. What is?
I think that the lineage according to the tradition and what kind of calendar we follow. I think depends on this. I mean we are 1 month different. I don't think this is affect the rain retreats, say the Vasa. Yes.
Yeah, I think anyway. Let us be that for the this. And then the thing that I would like to focus is that the message of the Vasa or Phansa during this Vasa, actually that is very good message. And
well, I have one question.
Talk a little bit of the story, and like Ajahn already mentioned.
Sorry, Ajahn Sena. Yeah, I have a question for Ajahn Pannyabhoga.
Please, yes.
I don't know if in Chan State, do you celebrate Asara Bhucha Day? In Chan State.
Asara Bhucha visits
Asara Bhucha Day.
Yeah, we have. This is a big event traditional, both in Chan State or the whole part of Myanmar.
And then when is your Asara Bhucha Day?
Asara Bhucha is the 3rd of August.
August, okay.
August, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
So it's next
month. Yeah, next month. Yes, next month.
Ajahn, actually, Asara Bhucha is the full moon of 8 month, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just a day before the monks entering Vasa.
Yeah.
Is it? Yes.
For example, here.
Yes. It's going to be tomorrow is Asara Bhucha for the Thai tradition. Then the next day after that it will be monks for the first day of entering the Vasa. Yeah. So
I think for the calendar we cannot change this. So traditionally I think we just follow that, right?
Yes.
If you start from the July, of course, end of the rain retreats will be October. Yeah. So for Myanmar, I think will be the first week of November. So 1 month difference. So for Buddhist people, who participate both countries, they will have opportunity to participate Katina 2 months.
Yes, correct. Then Ajahn Dr. Pannyabhoga, can you talk a bit about the history or how the Vasa is come to be? Please talk about this a little bit before we go into the message of the Vasa.
Yes, like the Venerable Piyobhaso just mentioned about this. The Vasa periods, the retreat periods of 3 months, or some also mention the 4-month periods until the end of the Katina. Yes. So I think the rainy season just from the Buddha's time, that this extortion that his disciple was from July or Isala, usually in July. or some year in August. So this should be confirmed to a 4-month retreat, or some say the 3-month periods. I just would like to focus, during the 3-month periods, monks are expected to stay and continue their practice and study. So let's say from the Buddha's time, it has been already 2,600 years. According to the Vinaya rule, like a Venerable says, at the beginning there is no rule laying down, to observe the Vasa. I think for many reasons, the complaint, and for during the rainy season, other traditions like Jainism and many other things, many other religious believers not traveling during these periods. So from then on, the monks and nuns are required to stay only one place, or just say to stay indoor for a period of 3 months.
It's good, isn't it? I think even it's not a rule, but it's good to stay at the same place for 3 months, for a few months. As for 12 round whole years, 12 months, if we just have no rules or no periods of time to to stay together, do you think it will be everywhere? Nothing, we won't stay at the same place, and then we may have not got opportunity to learn, to practice, or to even to communicate with our local people. So I think it's good, as monk can stay at one place.
Regarding this, I have now, because we, of course, from the history background of the Vasa, there are many reasons.
Yeah.
But in the current situation, there are many beneficial we learn from the observing Vasa, the rain retreat or Buddhist land. For example, the monks they need their own time to practice for the spiritual purpose, to stay indoor. If you are busier and the whole year's running, with full of the schedule, and then you yourself still need to focus for the spiritual purpose and for the learning scripture, more focus on the study, and also to be in the communities. For example, if you are traveling the whole years, you will have less chance to be in the community. So I think for the monastic community, the first is for the spiritual purpose. The second is for the learning Dhamma theory, pariyatti, and also living in harmonious community. And when we talk about the rainy retreats, we also need to consider for the Katina, to be the eligible for receiving the Katina robe. So finally, I think that I find the 3 factors: spiritual purpose, individually or in communities. The second is for to be more focused on your study, pariyatti. So the whole year, if you are not learning, if you are not update your knowledge generation to generation, from senior they have to teach to the junior. So nowadays we have a monastic institution, you may have Buddhist college. So I think during the rain retreats, the study more focus. For example, I'm not sure in Thailand, like what you said, Dhamma Siksa or any other, more focus, during the rain retreats. In Myanmar also, some class, they can offer only in the rain retreats. because some senior monks they are busier with Buddhist engagement, social activities, and many other things they cannot teach. So now, also, even in the meditation center, also some meditation center, they can run, the meditation course only, and that during the rain retreats, 3 months only. After that, you will be busier with Katina activity and traditional events. So, I mean, we cannot deeply, the focus on the scripture learning.
Okay, then now may I turn to Venerable Thanajan Phramaha Bhatsakorn. Thanajan Phramaha Bhatsakorn, how in Thailand, how we do, can you tell us a bit about how Buddhists there, they practice or they give importance about the Vasa, and especially, during 3 months or 4 months, we have sometimes we have new monks to ordain and stay for 3 Vasa and learn, Naktam. And also we have a tradition of like to encourage people to stop doing a bad habit like drinking or other stuff, Pranajan Phramaha Bhatsakorn, can you please talk a bit about this tradition, please?
Thank you. In Thailand, and as I know, in some parts of north or the northeast, even in central region of Thailand, just 1 month or 15 days before Vasa, and they have the tradition of group ordination.
Yes.
That the young men from different families to request to be ordained as a monk, just to complete the 3-month retreat. I remember once I went to spend about a month in Misnolo province. It's 1 month before the Vasa. There was the group ordination. There were about 20 young men who wanted to show their gratitude to their parents by becoming a monk for temporary time, and many of them choose to stay longer. Many of them like to complete the 3-month retreat with the hope that when they are able to complete the 3-month retreat, and then they can show their gratitude to their parents. Some even go further, and after they finish the first Vasa, then they go to the second Vasa. You know why? For the first Vasa, dedicated to their mother. And for the second Vasa, they said, I want to dedicate the second Vasa for my father. And because both of them look after me, they brought me up in order to show my gratitude to them, I choose at least 2 Vasa. But however, this is optional. And many Western people ask me that ordination is a must for Thai guys. I said no, because ordination is optional. Which means that you can't, even your parents, you can't force your son to become a monk. You need to ask them, and if they are willing to do it, then they can do it. But if they don't want to do it, then we can't force them. But also Thai guys want to show their gratitude. So 1 month before the Vasa, many Thai men like to become a monk. Some of them may stay for maybe just for a month. They can even leave before the first day of Vasa. But many of them like to stay for the whole 3 months. And well, in Thailand, as I say, the Thai Buddhists pay an attention to the Vasa because it is a good opportunity for them to make money. This is for the lay people. For lay people, they think that during the 3-month retreat, we need to cultivate more and more qualities. Some even have a resolution to spend the Oposta day at the temple to observe the 8 precepts. They stay overnight at the temple. And some of them may have a determination to avoid from drinking alcohol or smoking or eating meat for the whole period of 3 months. And then for the monks, during Vasa, monks have more time to focus on their study and also to focus on practice. In fact, it depends on the tradition of that monastery, because if you're from city dwelling, you will focus on education, whereas if you are from forest tradition, you may focus on meditation practice. And we have at least two traditions, city dwelling and forest tradition. For monks who are from city tradition or city dwelling tradition, they prefer to focus on monastic education like Dhamma study, Pali study, Abhidhamma study. But for the foreign tradition, they like to focus on meditation practice. But it doesn't mean that they don't study at all. Because I'm from Ubon Ratchathani province, and where Ajahn Chah, Wat Nong Papong Ajahn Chah Monastery is very well known for the Western people. Not far from my village monastery, there is another forest monastery. They spend most of the day on meditation. At the same time, they learn the Dhamma, like they learn Nakam during the Vasa. Whereas in the village monastery, when we finish the Vasa, when we finish the Katina ceremony, and then the head monk or the abbot, we take the young novice monk and then send them to education in other monasteries in Bangkok. I myself was sent to the monastery in Chonburi when I was young, when I was about 14 years old. And when I finished Bali and Nakam in Chonburi, and then I moved to Bangkok in 1995. So this is what happened in Thailand. So during the 3-month retreat, the Buddhists are very interesting. They are very, 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 what I mean to say is that they are very energetic. They are very energetic, which means that they have some kind of energy. During 3-month retreat, they have to cultivate more and more quickly, because they believe that there are many monks who will spend 3 months there, and then it is their duty to support them, to look after them, and to help them with requisite. This is the tradition in Thailand.
I think that during the Vasa, both the community of the Sangha members and also the lay community, from both we strengthen our energy because monks stay alone and stay indoor, and then you have more opportunity to learn many things from monks. At the same time, as a lay devotee, they also devote their time as a devotional level, like organizing the chanting group and more. I think this kind of activities is more organized during the rain retreats.
But one thing I also want to say, from my observation, I don't know what's happened in the north, but in the northeast, I can see that during the 3-month retreat, in the village monastery, they like to organize the Mahasangadana. What I mean by the Mahasangadana is that they will invite monks from different monasteries to a certain monastery. For example, this coming Sunday, we're going to have the Mahasangadana at the Buddha Patipat Temple. The next Sunday, we will have the Mahasangadana at Oxford Buddhist Vihara. So we keep moving from one monastery to another monastery. And then the lay people, we get together, we offer Sanghadana. I thought this is the way that they help each other. Because not only Sanghadana, there's a raise fund in order to support that monastery. The people from different villages can support each other, although they don't know, but would like to support each other because this is the big congregation of the Buddhist monks and the Buddhist lay people. It will be a good chance for them to cultivate merit.
Today fix the date, the Mahasanghadana, on usually on which day and month they usually organize?
As I remember, they normally have the Mahasanghadana on the Buddhist holiday. It depends on the agreement. Because, for example, in one district, in one ampere, there may be about 10 monasteries, and then the abbot or the chief of the village will have a meeting, and they will discuss, and then they will agree on a certain day. So this day we will have Sanghadana at this monastery, and then this day we have Sanghadana at this monastery.
Yes.
Ajahn, we do have as well in northern Thailand. Do you have Salakapata? Yeah, like the draw.
Lucky draw?
Yes, it's kind of Salakapat. Maybe you don't have this one. It's like the Ajahn there in northern Thailand, even in Shan State, we do have Salakapat. It's like a draw, or it's a kind of thing. Yeah, I forgot the name about this. So it's people.
And Salak, in the north they call it
Salak.
Salak, yes.
I think in Myanmar, it usually they organize
Vasa. Yeah, this is a good opportunity for people to like to do the dana, to offer to the specific monk. Yes, it's like this.
I think this is we call in Myanmar, we call Mahatuk, isn't it? Mahatuk. Yeah, Mahatuk is the like lucky draw. You cannot without intention inviting the monks. You can like a lucky draw. Maybe if you organize in the, for example, the location like a small town, they organize. So you put the name.
The rule is like that, Ajahn. They will have something to draw with. If, for example, if one devotee, if in the temple or in the community and the old temple they come together, they have the name of the monk in there. The devotee come and pick up the draw. Then when they have this patch, so which name, for example, if they got my name on there, then they will invite me to their home, some places, and then give and offer the dana to this specific monk. And some places, they will look after him the whole Vasa. They will give the dana during the 3 months. So this is another tradition.
I think we have something similar in Thailand.
Yes.
This is normally done on the day of Vasa.
Yes.
Because on the day of Vasa, the lay people we prepare the set of gifts, which includes lower rope.
Yes.
Lower rope and some requisite like a soap, like a toothbrush. And then, if there are many monks living in that monastery, they need to write the monk's name with number.
Yes.
And then lay people will come to pick up.
Same thing, Ajahn. The same thing.
Yeah. Yes. In some place, like in the northeast, because there are not many monks. But they normally do this afterwards, 1 month after the Vasa. And you don't choose the monk that you want to offer food. You just pick up the draw, and then when you look at the number, you will see the monk's name. So when you know which monk you choose to offer food, you go to that monk and offer your food. And we call it Salakapat.
Yeah, Salakapat.
Salakapat. Yeah. Salaga means the draw, and pata means food or even rice.
Salapan. I think very similar to Mahatuk in Myanmar.
I think it's just the same thing. We just
The same thing. They just the name is in different way. I think it's a kind of, you know, you are creating the devotee may have opportunity to choose. I don't know, without intention, you know, they will have opportunity to get the connection with the monk, say the supporter devotees. So in Shan State, especially in the central Shan State, Panglong, so they organize this kind of event every year during the Vasa. So, you know, without intention, maybe you may like to invite a senior monk. When you pick up the name, maybe even a young, very young novice. It depends on you and your luck. So from then on,
to train the people.
Yeah, to train the people.
To train the people more, and because
not to attach to only the senior.
The senior, yes.
Of the yes, the senior.
Offering, we always go to the senior monk.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
the young novice monk, we have less offering.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the some Ajahn it will be good that if some monk and they have very good connection with the devotee, some novice, then that devotee always support that novice until he completes his education. This is also happen. This is, I think, a good tradition as well to have connection with the devotees and don't always monk. Yeah. And Ajahn, I would like to, I know some that is very similar in even in northern Thailand, in Shan State, and even in Pakistan, we are very similar actually. I think in central Thailand also, in ancient time, will be the same. Like during the Vasa, like elderly people or older people, senior people, they come to the temple and stay at the temple for one night and observe 8 precepts. In Isan, do you still have this kind of tradition, Ajahn?
You ask me or you ask Ajahn Pannyabhoga?
Yeah, I Ajahn Phatsakorn first, yes.
All right.
Yes.
In Pakistan, do you still have this kind?
I already mentioned about what they normally do in Northeast. During Vasa,
yes,
the lay people like to observe the 8 precepts and then they spend one night at the temple. But in Bangkok, the lay people can do this every Piyobhaso day, which means that every Buddhist holiday, they can observe the 8 precepts, they can stay all night at the temple. But there will be more people during the 3-month retreat. I'm from Wat Mathan in Bangkok, and we have this for the whole year. But we have more people during the 3-month retreat. And here at the Buddha Pachipa temple, for the past three years, we have Piyobhaso observance for the lay, which means that during the 3-month retreat, a group of lay people will come to stay overnight at the temple, they pass the day, night with meditation practice. They just stay for 1 day and 1 night. Like last year, we had about 30 lay people who came to stay at the Buddha Pachipa. When we finish Vasa, when we finish 3-month retreat, because monks are always busy, we are busy with the Katina preparation, and we often have an appointment to do the service outside the temple, and quite often we drove from London to Bournemouth to Plymouth or somewhere else. So we are too busy, and then we just finish after the 3-month retreat. And in 3 months, I think in 3 months there are 12 days. Oh, sorry.
Yes, try.
Yeah, 12 days. 12 post-start day.
12 was that day.
Yeah.
I think similar to the Buddhist people in Shan State, we call like a temple stay. So starting from the asala, during the ring retreats, at the end of the ring retreat, no more. temple stay?
I think it's very similar. Yes, like Ajahn Bhatsakorn said, they take turn for the Mahasankatana, known as well in Shan State or in North Thailand. We have Poi Sattha. Poi Sattha means we take turn, like the people, they take turn to cook and to give the dana, sankatana to.
So what does the word poi mean? You said poi.
Poi
is
is like a festival,
celebrate.
like
Sorry?
a festival. Like Poi Sanglong is festival of like.
Festival.
Yes, festival. It's a festival or ngan. In Thailand, it's ngan.
Because in Thai, poi means picky tail.
Yeah, Ajahn, is sometimes. Have you ever heard about Poi Sanglong?
Yeah, I thought I have heard that.
Yeah, Poi Sanglong is.
Poi Sanglong means they
like
organize novice ordination.
But
they organize.
That's occurs during April.
March or April.
During that,
yes.
During the summer. And yes, why like sattha is you give or generosity you offer with the food to the monk, and even to the all like precept or no the age precept observers at the temple. So this is very similar. I think it's very similar even in Northern as well.
I thought the Vasa is only observed in the Theravada tradition. I have a chance to ask the Mahayana monks, like the monks from the Tibetan tradition. And they do have the Vasa observance, but they don't actually practice it. A few years ago, I went to this cave in Canada at the Sarojay Monastic University. And they want me to talk about Katina ceremony and the Sema ceremony. And then I asked them, do you do the Katina? They said, we never do the Katina, although we have the Katina in the scripture.
Yeah.
And then what about Vasa? Well, we don't actually observe Vasa. We do have Vasa. And they said, Vasa is related to the Katina. Vasa is related to the Katina. And if you don't complete the 3-month Vasa, that means you are not eligible to receive the Katina robe. And because they don't do the Katina, so they said it's not really necessary to observe the Vasa. But it can be a personal observance. What kind of personal observance? For example, if you would like to devote 3 months for meditation practice, you can inform the head monk or all monastic members that from this day to this day, I'm going to stay in my place practicing meditation. And may choose to practice from 1 month, 2 months, even 3 months.
So he make the decision by himself to observe like a kind of Vasa, right?
Yeah. So this is the difference. Even in Theravada, even within Theravada, I thought Thailand, Burma, Cambodia, or Laos seem to be very strict on this.
Yes.
It also depends on your lineage.
Right.
It depends on your lineage as well. In Thailand, we prefer the monk to stay at a certain during the 3-month retreat. And if you are the head monk, you won't be happy when you have 1 monk in your monastery, as you travel all the time. That's not good.
When people see them, they're also not happy.
Not very respectable, but during the rain retreat.
Should stay in the temple and then.
There is one misunderstanding. And when I was teaching school in Bangkok, because then I taught at Buddha school, the English program, they misunderstood about the Vasa. They thought that during Vasa, monks are not allowed to go outside the temple at all. And then they asked me, tomorrow is the Vasa day, and how can you travel to teach us? I said, Vasa means you have to go back to spend the night. during the daytime, you can go anywhere, but by before the sun rises in the morning, you need to stay in your temple. Or if there is some urgent business, for example, I don't know if you have the same
task.
there are 5 urgent business. If your parents are unwell, you can leave.
Illness, yes.
You can leave for 7 days. But you need to come back to spend the 7 nights at your temple. If your parents are sick, you are allowed to go. So it's an urgent business. And second, and if your brother, Dhamma brother, like your friend, your Dhamma friend, want to disrobe, want to stop being a monk.
You want to go and encourage them to stay.
So it is your duty to help that monk, or you can find a way to
emergency case.
So if it doesn't work, and then you have to let him go. And then the business number 3, if your resident is damaged, and then you're allowed to go somewhere else to find the materials in order to repair the roof. Or if you are invited by the lady, you can go. I don't quite remember the last one. Can you remind me the last one?
Dhammam desitum, Buddham pasitum. To pay respect to the Buddha or any pilgrimage.
Not that one.
Not that one.
Not that one. So we have the first one. Parents are sick.
Yes.
I'm a friend. Want to disrobe. And your resident is damaged. You need to go and find the material to repair your resident.
Yes.
And then I can't think of number 5.
Is it the donation vihara or land other property to the Sangha?
Invitation.
Invitation. Yes.
So parents, one's friend.
Yes.
Resident invitation. I think there is one more. I can't remember. It is in my head, but I can't remember.
I remember Dhammam desitum in order to preach, and Buddham pasitum. It should be that one.
When you're invited to give the talk.
They call it the kind of like essential task. So they can be temporarily absent for 7 days.
But you have the same practice in Thai tradition, and you can be away for 6 days, but you have to come back to spend the 7 nights at your temple. But you have the same practice of
it. I think in Myanmar they still practice, because some like meditation master, they have to teach, they have to leave the temple for 10 days. So 10 days he will come back one, and then make sataha.
Sataha. Sataha karaniya.
Sataha karaniya, and then he return.
Maybe could you please tell us more about Sataha karaniya? I think many people want to know what Sataha karaniya is, because many people still misunderstand that during Vasa you're not allowed to go to somewhere else. And see the monks in other countries, they said, well, now this is during Vasa, and why you are allowed to travel?
I think this is very important, because in general the monks are required to stay indoor for 3 months. So generally people understand without going anywhere, even in the daytime. So, but according to the Vinaya, there is the occasions that monks are permitted to, temporarily absent from his monastery, including the urgent, we can say, the essential task or urgent matter, like illness or the death of the one parent, invitation to preach, like the Venerable just mentioned, and also the donation of the vihara. So other property to the Sangha. I mean, if there will be the event beneficial to the Sangha, so the monks, they can leave the temple temporarily and return within the 7 days. I think now in Myanmar, some meditation master and some Dhamma teachers, for example, they have to go and teach the temple, but to go and come back within daytime is is difficult for them. So they have to stay overnight. So within 7 days, he may come back
continue
and stay overnight. He stay overnight and then go back again.
This kind is similar to Thai.
Yeah. They still practice in Myanmar.
Yeah. You know why I asked you this question? Because still many people don't understand this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that during the Vasa, monks have to stay at the temple all the time.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to travel abroad. They're not allowed to go anywhere else. But this is a kind of misunderstanding. In fact, monks are allowed to travel under some conditions. And I just checked there are in fact 4 conditions. There are 4 conditions. It was my misunderstanding that I thought there were 5 conditions, but in fact there are only 4 conditions.
Only 4, yeah.
Only 4. And if your monk friends, if your fellow monks or parents are sick, you're allowed to go and look after
and look after him.
But you have to come back within 7 days. And then condition number 2, when you have the fellow monk who want this role, you can go to encourage them. And then condition number 3, when the resident, like the host hall or even the monk's resident is damaged, then you can go to find the material in order to bring them back and repair the host hall or the resident. And last but not least, when you are invited by the faithful disciples, you can go. Because, for example, if someone from the Netherlands want to invite me to receive the requisite there, I can go there. But I have to act within 7 days.
Yes. Ajahn, if any reason, for example, there's for any reason the resident requirement is not kept, so what would happen to this monk? Actually, he may not be able to, the receipt.
His Vasa is broken.
Yeah. His
so
Vasa is not.
Vasa, His Vasa is not counted. Under the year of his monkhood, it's counted.
Yeah.
When we say the Vasa is broken, it doesn't mean that he finished the period of monkhood.
Yeah.
But in fact, when you break the Vasa, you are not eligible for the Katina role.
Katina only, but the Vasa is still counted.
Well, for the period of monk's year, it's still counted.
Yeah.
Still counted.
I imagine that if you break, for example, the certain monks, he break his Vasa for 2 years, and then the junior will become the senior. There is another problem, some misunderstood. Because he said, now I become the senior because you break Vasa 2 years already.
That is
actually, Vinaya doesn't say about this, right?
No. It's not about the seniority.
Yeah.
So your seniority is still there.
Yeah.
But when you break Vasa, you won't be able to receive the new set of road.
Yes. Yes.
And you also an offense, tukata, the wrongdoing. We call it in Pali. When you break Vasa and you have caused a minor offense like a tukata or wrongdoing, and then at the end of the Vasa, you are not eligible for the Katina role. That's it.
Yes. So, during the Vasa, actually in the Vasa, Ajahn, the message for the Vasa, what is the important message in the Vasa? So like at the entering of the Vasa, isn't it, for the Asaraha Bhuja, the Buddha taught about his first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta.
Pannyabhoga,
The first
please go
teaching,
first.
yes.
Yeah, please go
Yes,
first.
please, Ajahn Pannyabhoga, can you talk about this?
Yes, when you come to the, very immediately the Buddha got enlightenment.
Yes.
So the very first year, as a proactive way, he from Bodh Gaya, from Bodh Gaya as a great master, proceed to Sanarat. It was there where he preached the first sermon to the 5 ascetics in the Thea Park. So that is why in Myanmar, Asala, when you say Asala Puja, in Myanmar they will say Dhammacakkappavattana. So with this special occasion, they also organize like a Dhammacakka chanting group, for example. In Burma, when you say the chanting group, always they name the Dhammacakka group, Dhammasaja apart. Dhammasaja would you attain? So when you say Dhammacakka group chanting, so the name is, from the Asala Puja day. So actually the chanting group, they were continuously chanting on every Uposatha day, like 1 month, 4 times. So there will be 12 times, on every Uposatha day. And also during the Vasa, not only Dhammacakkappavattana, the name is, even the Anattalakkana Sutta, they also, organize the chanting, especially 2 sutra, referring to the, the very first year of the Buddha after his enlightenment.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I thought it would be a good opportunity for Buddhists, not only monks, but during the Vasa, I have a good opportunity to cultivate parami.
Yes.
Perfection, or you can say, you can begin with Dana Parami, and Dana Parami is the perfection of charity. For those who can't come to visit the temple very often, you can do Dana Parami by helping the charity, even by helping the poor. Perhaps you can have some box, like a charity box in your place. So every day you just put 1 pound or 1 coin, and before you do that, you say, "Oh, this money will be given to any charity, not only to the temple." So this account to cultivate Dana Parami, the perfection of charity. And then you can even Sila Parami, the perfection of morality. You can tell yourself that for the whole 3 months, I will try to observe the 5 precepts. Or if you can't observe all of them, maybe three of them, or 4 of them, even 1 of them is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it would be good, and if you can observe all of the 5 precepts during the 3-month retreat. You can even practice Nekkhamma Parami, perfection of realization. When you go to stay overnight at the temple, but because of the COVID-19, now I think it's quite hard.
Yes.
But in fact, to observe the 8 precepts can be done at home.
Yeah.
If you have the trial room, you go to your trial room, and then you can recite the Pali word. You can even observe the 8 precepts on your own. It's not necessary to go to the temple. It's not necessary to request 8 precepts from people. Whenever you have intention to observe the precept, so you can practice Nekkhamma Parami, the perfection of realization, even you have to be at home. And I think you also can practice Pannyabhoga. How to practice Pannyabhoga? Perfection of wisdom. You dedicate your time for learning, studying, listening to a talk, listening to the teaching, even reading, studying. This is the way to improve your wisdom, to cultivate wisdom. What about Viriya Parami? Well, it depends if you would like to do it or not. You can do something like you may say to yourself, I will meditate twice a day. I will meditate 1 hour a day. So this is a kind of Viriya Parami or the perfection of effort. And for the lay Buddhists, of course, you can't go to stay at the temple. I think it's quite hard during this time. But you can choose to stay at home instead. And then you can choose what you want to do, what parami that you would like to cultivate.
Yes,
So 10 parami can be fulfilled during the ring retreat, Ajahn.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think
And
now,
your place to be a temporary temple, like
yes.
mobile temple.
Yes, actually, yes, you're right, Ajahn. During the Vasa, if some people make a determination or atithan to do good the whole Vasa, I'm not going to do the mistake one, the wrong one, like you mentioned at the beginning, stop drinking alcohol, stop taking drugs, stop smoking, or somebody further than that, they become vegetarian, like I won't eat meat the whole Vasa, the whole 3 months. Or some people will be more better than or greater than that is they want to observe 8 precepts for the whole Vasa, for the whole retreat, for the for 3 months. This is more like they more devote themselves to the practice.
Yeah, this can be as the Aditana Parami.
Yes.
Of determination. Aditana Parami, the perfection of determination. When you have a resolution or a determination that from now on I will avoid drinking, I will observe 5 precepts, I will avoid eating meat, I will try my best to improve myself, something like this.
Yes.
But it would be better if they can take the 3-month retreat as a good starting point.
Yeah.
And then they can extend it from 3 months to 4 months, from 4 months to 5 months, even to the whole year.
It doesn't mean that when they finish Vasa, right?
Yeah. Because we have only 3 months during Vasa, but we have another 9 months.
Yeah.
So we have another 9 months. And from my experience, I can say that, I don't drink during the Vasa, but after they finish the Vasa, they drink a lot. They drink a lot.
I think in Thailand, some people do, right? They avoid using alcohol or not going. Some say like having only vegetable, become the vegetarian for 3 months.
They campaign. งดเหล้าเข้าพรรษา
We can see the sign everywhere, isn't it, Ajahn? The big sign. งดเหล้าเข้าพรรษา that is very...
I think this is even the Buddhist culture also is a little bit related to this. For example, there is no wedding ceremony or some, the marriage proposal. I'm not sure in Thailand, in Myanmar, Siam State, and the whole country of the Myanmar.
In the north or in the northeast, I think that they are actually the same, but I'm not sure about
it. Because no wedding, no even the marriage proposal, you cannot, because the tradition strongly believe this.
Yeah, I thought in central Thailand, they don't mind to have the wedding ceremony even during the Vasa. But in the north or in the northeast, we won't have this because we say, well, marriage, wedding ceremony should not take place during the 3-month retreat. In the northeast, where I come from, there will be no ordination, monks ordination during the Vasa. Because if you leave during the Vasa, it can be a kind of it can be a subject of criticism. It's better to leave the monkhood after you finish the Vasa. In central Thailand, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I saw this by myself. Because they don't have intention to stay for the whole treatment. So they just stay for maybe for a month and then they leave. So I think we have some kind of different practices even in Thailand.
Yeah. I think we can say that more they become more religious person. I mean the Asian time, because during the rainy retreats they can they devote their time devotional level like giving dana. Some even they make the decision to offer armed food every day, 90 days. They make a strong determination, like you say, Adithana Parami. I met a devotee in Thailand some years ago. They say that they offer the alms food every day. Someday the monk they may not come to. They even they drive the car and try to find the monk.
Yeah.
Because they already make their intention to offer their food. They collect the food to offer.
Yeah, I think it would be more beneficial. And if they offer food, the monks outside the Vasa, you know why?
Yeah.
During the Vasa, monks always have plenty of food.
Yeah.
Plenty of food.
End of Vasa, no more food. I think sometimes we need to be balanced, right?
Yeah.
Not to focus only the Vasa.
Yeah. On the Buddhist holiday, on the lottery day, people like to offer food to the Buddhist monk. And you know what happened? Monks have plenty of food. They can't finish them all.
Can't finish.
Yeah.
They threw away.
Right. I think maybe Tanzania want to say something. I think now it is nearly 3:30. I think we need to conclude. There's something wrong with his audio system. I think
Mahasena,
we can't hear you.
mute.
Okay, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, he's muting
myself because something noisy here, and now it's better. Oh yes, I forgot what I should have said. Let's go back to the root of some tradition. Like Ajahn at the Amaravati, they have two Vasa. Like they follow the Vasa that we have, we do in Asia, in Thailand, from starting from like this the July until that's for 3 months. Then they do another month is from during the spring or during the
winter.
What is it? The cool season here, Ajahn. So the winter season here from January to March, isn't it, Ajahn? At the Maravati, they have two kind of. Because here, during now we are summer. It's not a rainy season actually here, and the rainy season is starting at the. No, rainy season. The winter is difficult to travel. That's why they
rainy is very convenient for the monks living in the UK, living in the Western country. There is no rain. It's very easy to do anything outdoor, but we still follow our tradition. We still follow our tradition, and I think we need to talk about the first Vasa and the second Vasa, Purima Vasa and
Pachima Vasa.
Yeah, Pachima Vasa. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have that practice.
Same thing, Ajahn. Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Same at same time.
Purima Vasa, like the one they start from the day after full moon day of 8 lunar months.
Yeah.
For Pachima Vasa is the one day after the full moon day of 9 lunar month. That only 1 month different, right?
Yeah. Well, I have the experience when I try to apply visa for the monks in Thailand, and the officials at the embassy, they understand the Buddhist culture a little bit. They know about Vasa, but they don't know what is the difference between Purima Vasa and Pachima Vasa. And they said, wow, and now it is already the Vasa. So you won't be allowed to travel. And then I have to explain to them they are allowed to travel because they still have time to start the second Vasa. We start a month later. Although they miss the first Vasa, but they still have a chance to start the second Vasa or Pachima Vasa, which takes place one month later. I think we have a similar practice in Thailand, in Burma, maybe in Sri Lanka. In Thailand, we still have this practice, but not very often, because most monks prefer to start the first Vasa. Unless if they have to, for example, monks have to travel from Thailand to UK, but they are not able to manage the traveling before the first Vasa. So if they are not able to manage to travel before that, then they can come afterwards to start the second Vasa. We call it Pachima Vasa. Purima Vasa, the first Vasa, the first period of the 3-month retreat. And 1 month later, we can start the second Vasa.
In Myanmar, this one is still practice, Ajahn.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
Same in Thailand.
I would like to back to the tradition a little bit that we are similar, like in Shan State, and even in northern Thailand and go to Shan State over there. Like when people go to the temple and stay at the temple, we have a reciting of manuscript, the old script, Ajahn, like we call Lik Long there. Then the head, somebody who can read that old script, then they read to everyone who, for the 8 precept observer at the temple. I don't know whether in Isan you still have those kinds of things.
I think like you are Tet
Ajahn
Mahatma.
Pannyabhoga, can you talk a bit about this Rigdong reciting?
Yeah. Manuscript reading is still widely practiced in Shan State. Because in the daytime, the monk may give Dhamma talk.
Yes.
Morning, evening, but
during the day,
they themselves they will choose one for the reader who is well
learned,
well learned, and who can some composed like a poetic writing. So they may listen, because some in the olden time not many people can read, they are illiteracy, so they need to have a good one to lead the reading. So they listen the Jataka, and like in Thailand similar to Mahachat. But they will read.
I have a question for you, Pannyabhoga. And what script? What script?
The script is sal paper, not manuscript, not palm leaf. We have the like a polling paper, like they call it what they call the sa.
It's like this. I know you mean. The old script is before that Thai Yai, or Shan, even northern Thailand, we use the old script we call Lik Long, that is written the teaching of the Buddha, like the Jataka or other
many Buddhist teaching,
like
actually.
Teaching. Yes.
Long script, because in the north they have Mueang, Tua Mueang script.
Yeah.
Similar to that. But this one is quite very
script.
Like that. Then it's an old script. Only not many people can read it. Only someone who are very good at reading about that they can read. Then when they choose one to read to them, they put the place and put a table for him, and with the big script on there, he sits with a very nice place and then read to them. Then all of them, they are in the temple the whole day. After they do some meditation and doing the rosary. Then they listen to this the whole day until they go to bed.
I think we don't have this practice in Thailand.
Yeah, I don't know whether you have.
Yeah, well, because I grew up in central Thailand, although I was born in Northeast. I stayed at my village monastery just for a year, and then I moved to Chonburi province. From my observation, they don't have this practice. Of course, they have those type of observance. People come to the temple, but we don't have something like what you have done in Chan state.
Yeah, I
Even
heard
the
that this
Mahachat,
kind.
yeah,
Mm,
sorry, even the Mahachat sermon, Vesandara festival in the Northeast, they prefer to have this festival um, in March. In March,
oh,
but
not the rainy
in
retreat.
central Thailand, they prefer to have this during the Vasa. Like at Wat Mahathat, they normally have this Vesandra festival 4 days before the end of the 3-month retreat. In the Northeast, they prefer to have this probably in March, as I remember.
I think the I'm not sure the K Crosby. They also talk about the Boran Kamatan, the Asian meditation method.
Yeah,
They also include these kind of things because the like some over hundreds years ago, not many meditation center in Burma. Was meditation like a classical meditation technique just start from 20th century. So before that, the people may go to stay in the temple for overnight. They practice like rosary counting, listening to the Dhamma, to manuscript like we just mentioned. So by this kind of activities, so the Buddhism, the teaching of the Buddhism, came into their life. The people, Asian people, they cannot read. Perhaps 100 people, they have only one or two to lead this kind of poetic composition. So that is why in Siam State this kind of tradition is still exists. They also call the living tradition. We still try
Still
to hold organizing the conference because we still have many lay people who can read the old script. So especially they do the reading in the rainy retreats.
Okay. I think our time
I think
running
we
quite.
run out of the time. We can wrap up.
You can wrap up, yes. Yeah, the message during the Vasa, what do you really want to tell people, to practice or to encourage, to inspire them to follow or to do during the Vasa?
yeah.
Bhatsakorn.
I would recommend the lay people to choose one practice. You can begin with one practice, and then you can expand from one practice. You can choose any one of them. For example, you can tell yourself that on this day until the end of the 3-month retreat, I will try to speak nicely. Okay? I will try to avoid bad words or rude words. Or if you would like to have more, you can even say, well, I will observe the 5 precepts. I will meditate every day. I will chant every day. Or I will avoid from drinking alcohol. I will try to quit smoking, something like this. But start with one thing. Start with one thing. And if you think that you can do it, and then you can add it more. So this is the message from me for the lay people.
Ajahn Pannyabhoga, Dr. Pannyabhoga, do you want to say something or add something, or you haven't talked, or you want to add more about what we are talking today?
Yes, like we traditionally, the rain retreat is considered as a sacred period of time, and then we have more opportunity to develop, to practice spiritually, and also for the learning, like Venerable Ajahn Piyobhaso just mentioned about this. You try to you practice in the devotional level, like doing chanting, giving dana, offering things to the monks, and try to practice. And also for the meditative life, I think during the Vasa, the environment is very good. You can try to practice one thing for devotional level, either the ethical observing 8 precept, 9 precept, and also for meditations. Especially this year, even we don't have the rain retreats. So due to the COVID-19, you are already required to stay only one place. So I would like to recommend during the Vasa, both the community of the Sangha and the lay community, we strengthen our relationship, and also we devote our time to practice even the for the basic level of the Buddha's teaching. And more than that, you can focus more on your meditation when you are either you stay alone, or as a monk you observe the Vasa alone or with community. And the next one is living in the harmonious communities. So when we come to the rain retreat, we need to even the history background of the Katina actually started from the rain retreat, from right the beginning of the rain retreat. So both member of the Sangha community and lay community, we get the close relationship better than any other time in the rainy retreats. So try to practice as good as you can. Just I would like to leave a short message.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And yes, for a few words that I would like to mention here as well is that, as the Buddha's words, like all of us, we have said already, we refrain doing, stop doing any evil thing, any bad thing if it's possible. And we try to develop ourselves in the good thing, doing the good thing, good deeds. And another one is that very important is that we try to purify the mind, or develop mental activities, not to allow our mind to be too much occupied in the negative things. Especially, if you are the one who are easily angry with something else, then during the Vasa, if you can do, just you restrain your mind for not to be easy anger. And yes, and if you are used to do something is not quite right in the negative things, you have to stop doing that. And this is for everyone, not just for the lay people or whoever, even for everyone. So we try to stop our bad habits and develop our good habits in our day-to-day life during the Vasa, so that if we have this kind of determination and doing during this Vasa, and if we are able to do, we continue doing, continue to do for the whole year, then it will become a habit, and that is a good habit. So with this message, I also would like to conclude here. So thank you very much. Thank you, Venerable Prajan Phramaha Bhatsakorn and Prajan Dr. Pannyabhoga, and thank you for all the listeners today. Thank you very much. Song.